Hundreds of trucks lined up at the British ports and airports, hoping his country's imposed a travel ban on the UK. In the wake of a new, more contagious coronavirus variant, many countries have slapped tough travel restrictions on Britain. Hundreds of drivers from across Europe have queued up outside the Dover port. The lorries, mostly bound to France, hope to get back in time for Christmas. On Sunday, France announced a 48-hour ban on all travel from the UK as a precautionary measure. Addressing the situation, UK Prime Minister Boris Johnson assured that everything was being done to end the ban on cargo travelling from the UK and that delays at Dover port affect only human-handled freight.
The French government imposed restrictions on UK freight crossing to France when accompanied by a driver. And so today I chaired a meeting of the government's emergency COBRA committee in order to coordinate a UK-wide response. And it's vital first to stress that these delays, which are only occurring at Dover, only affect human-handled freight. And that is only 20% of the total arriving from or departing to the European continent, which means the vast majority of food, medicines and other supplies are coming and going as normal.
Currently, freight lorries cannot enter France, but trucks coming in the opposite direction are still allowed. Unaccompanied cargo such as containers or lorry trailers on their own can still be transported from the UK to France. Note that the Dover Channel is a vital trade route with about 10,000 lorries a day travelling between Dover and Calais in France during peak periods such as Christmas, largely bringing in the freshest produce. UK Transport Minister Grant Shapps asked people to avoid travelling to Kent. He assured the drivers that they will be able to go back to their homes and that an alternate facility will be operational soon.
Well, that message has been very well understood today, and as a result, we haven't seen any problems in the area. Most of the lorries who are there are primarily European hauliers looking to transit back across to the continent, waiting. We will open up Manston Airport, as you said, Prime Minister, though for the time being it won't be for large numbers of lorries, but more for management purposes. And that's a facility we have ready because we've been planning for the end of the transition period.
The new virus concerns have left the Britons panicked. They are rushing to supermarkets, stocking up on supplies for Christmas. UK's top two retailers, Tesco and Sainsbury's, urged customers to shop as normal and said that they currently have enough supplies to last for Christmas. But there can be a serious disruption in supplies if the ban continues. The supermarket chains say that the supply of fresh produce like lettuce, broccoli, salad leaves and citrus fruit will be impacted. More details. Let's quickly go across to our London Bureau Chief Mandy Clark, who's joining us live with more details. Mandy, thank you for joining our broadcast. Now, be it the ban on British freight vehicles entering France or even the suspension of flights to and from UK, how is this impacting business as usual in the UK, especially during the festive period?
Well, you are certainly noticing it on the streets. The queue this morning to the supermarket just around the corner was nearly a mile long because people are panic buying. As you reflected there, we are seeing people just show up really worried about those big festive meals that they're planning. They're getting, that last minute produce that you simply can't have stocked up on, such as Brussels sprouts and broccoli and all those items. So really we're seeing that panic buying because there's just no guarantee, although the government is calling for calm. Right now, there is a deep concern that the festive period will be deeply impacted. Right.
Mandy, clearly the new strain of the coronavirus is a new cause of worry for the world. But what is worrisome about it, and is it more contagious, and will it impact vaccination?
It's absolutely more contagious, and that is the massive worry. That's why France made that unprecedented decision as soon as it was pretty much announced how much more contagious this strand is, that they had that 48-hour lockdown on the ports just to make sure it doesn't come into France. It is in the way it's not more deadly or more dangerous. The only real danger is that it lots of people can carry it without having any symptoms, so it spreads a lot quicker. It spreads, I think, around 70% quicker than the original coronavirus, which was also very contagious as well. So it just shows that this is a super spreading mutant variation. But we do know that the vaccine does work against this new strain, so that is a big relief for the vaccine makers and for the rest of the population, knowing that the mutant strain is not going to be immune to the vaccine. So the real danger is how quickly it spreads, and that's why we're seeing lockdowns and cancellations on those ports, and not just with France, all around the world, they're banning flights to the UK because the danger of the spread.
Right. Mandy, Peter Andrews, a science journalist based in London, has written an op-ed stating that there are thousands of COVID strains, so this new scare is not a big deal. He also says that the UK's virus mutation is nothing but recycled alarmism with no substance to justify the cancellation of Christmas and plunging us all into yet another misery. What do experts and virologists have to say? Will they even agree with such a viewpoint?
I think, scientists we have seen certainly in the UK take the line of caution that the more precaution that the population takes, the less socializing and mixing they take, the better it is for the science to help tackle the vaccine. There has been a lot of politicizing over the vaccine about the government handling, even the conservative backed papers. So the papers that normally back the Conservative Party have come against the Prime Minister in his handling of this, largely because he had promised that everybody can see their granny at Christmas time, and then, of course, this Sunday cancels it all. There is a feeling in Parliament that he knew of this new mutation, and it's just an excuse to backtrack over his previous handling. Now, it's become very politicized, but I think the scientists would agree that caution is best approach. Whether it was necessary to have such a severe restriction and make such a big public announcement about this new mutant strain, that will be debated amongst politicians.
Right. Caution is the best approach, perhaps also the best policy to go by at the moment. Having said that, thank you so much, Mandy Clark, for bringing us all those precious inputs.